A woman took a bath by the sea, but something strange happened. The husband who applied sunscreen to himself just now disappeared without a trace. She hurried to ask the couple nearby if she had seen her husband. However, the other party said that they had been here for a long time and had never seen anyone. But the strange thing is that her husband's cell phone was gone. In a hurry, she immediately called her husband, but no one answered. Lisa felt a little uneasy, so she hurriedly put on her clothes and returned to the shore. She immediately asked the rescue team in the scenic area for help. She suspected that her husband had had an accident in the sea. Soon, a rescue team drove a speedboat to the nearby sea. However, after a few hours of searching, they did not find any trace of her husband. Lisa had no choice but to come to the police station to report the case. Unexpectedly, after the police officer heard it, he immediately laughed. The other party said that the seashore was crystal clear and the current was very stable. No one had ever drowned, not to mention that Lisa's husband was still swimming. The police officer suggested that Lisa go back to the hotel first and inform him if there was any news. This was originally a romantic trip to celebrate their 5th anniversary of marriage. Now there is only Lisa alone, but suddenly the hotel phone rang. Lisa thought it was her husband. Lisa hurriedly picked up the receiver. Unexpectedly, it was just a sales call. Her husband's disappearance made her uneasy. Lisa was worried that she had not slept all night. The next day, she came to the place where her husband disappeared to wait. Because the police never found any clues, Lisa could only go back to school for the time being. Her job is a professor of art at a university. On this day of class, Lisa suddenly noticed that a male classmate in the class was smiling at her. However, Lisa stared at him. She found out that this person was the lifeguard, Peter, who was asking for help by the sea. After class, Peter suddenly came to Lisa. He said that he was just using his spare time to work on the island. However, after that, Peter always accidentally had a fling with Lisa. He also deliberately made an accident and ate with her. He even invited her to a concert. Lisa knew what Peter meant, but she believed that her husband was not dead. She did not consider starting another relationship for the time being. For the past few months, Lisa has not given up looking for her husband. She believed that her husband was not dead. This evening, when she was preparing for work, Lisa accidentally found a video on her husband's computer. It was a scene when her husband's company was holding an annual meeting. A red-clothed woman suddenly appeared in the picture. She seemed to be very close to her husband, but Lisa had never seen or heard of her husband. Is her husband's disappearance related to her? The next day, Lisa took the video to ask her best friend. Her best friend comforted Lisa not to think too much. After hearing her best friend's words, Lisa also thought that maybe she was overthinking. But what made Lisa feel confused was that the bank manager told her that her husband had taken out all the money from his account a few days before his disappearance. He even took away the money from the couple's common account. She just finished taking a shower at night, but received a call from the police station. The police said that a man's body was found in the sea and asked her to identify it immediately. The next morning, Lisa came to the police station. However, Lisa saw that the deceased was not her husband. At this time, the detective raised his own suspicions. He thought that Lisa's husband might not have been in trouble at all. He just wanted to abandon Lisa. On the surface, Lisa still insisted that she had a deep relationship with her husband. At night, as soon as Lisa stepped into the house, she could no longer contain her sadness. Tears couldn't help but overflow. At night, she lay in bed and couldn't sleep. In her mind, she kept thinking about the red-clothed woman. The strong sixth sense indicated that the two of them were not just colleagues. In order to solve the inner confusion, Lisa turned on her husband's computer again and focused on checking all the photos of her husband. After zooming in, she saw that when the red-clothed woman looked at her husband, there was always a murderous look in her eyes and confusion. Lisa began to check her husband's clothes again. As expected, a necklace was found in her husband's suit. In Lisa's memory, her husband never gave her such an expensive necklace. Obviously, it was given to someone else. The next day, she found a box in the storage room. There was a photo book that she had never seen before. The strange thing was that there was a newspaper in the photo book. It recorded a car accident that happened many years ago. At that time, a sportsman named Sergei took his family on a trip by car. Unfortunately, he was hit by a truck on the way. In the car accident, the couple died on the spot. Only a pair of twins were left. However, what was more devastating was that there were still some photos of her husband's childhood on the back of the newspaper. When Lisa was confused, the doorbell was suddenly rang. A high-ranking detective came to visit. The detective told Lisa that her husband was suspected of a financial fraud. Now the police suspect that her husband is not missing, but a money launderer. He came to help Lisa investigate, but Lisa knew nothing about it, because her husband had never mentioned it to her at work. The long-standing suppression and suspicion of her husband's disappearance have brought Lisa's emotions to the brink of collapse. She asked her husband's colleagues to find out where that woman was. Her colleagues told her that since her husband's disappearance, that woman has taken the initiative to resign. Now she has gone to work for another company. And recently, the higher UPS are investigating the company's finances. It is said that Lisa's husband participated in a financial fraud. That night, Lisa, according to the information provided by her colleagues, found that woman's new workplace on the internet. Only Peter was willing to listen to his worries. For this, he took the initiative to invite Peter to his house and asked the other party to help investigate. He told Peter all his suspicions and doubts. This made Peter very confused and suspected that his husband had betrayed him. Peter still agreed to investigate with Lisa. So they left the car immediately and went downstairs of that woman's company. After a series of careful tracking, they saw that the woman entered a pharmacy and bought some medicines and injectors. But then the woman walked into a men's clothing store. The two followed her all the way to the villa outside the suburb. But it was too late. Peter suspected that Lisa would come to investigate tomorrow, and he had already come up with a good idea.